Hi, this is Garibay, and I am doing my review of the film The Last Witchhunter, which starred Vin Diesel. I think everybody's familiar with who Vin Diesel is. I'm not sure I really need to name off his credits. Rose Leslie. So, of course, Vin Diesel played The Last Witchhunter himself. And then Rose Leslie is Ygritte from Game of Thrones. And so she's like this redheaded British lady, and she was very good in this. This was extremely well cast. I thought that all the main characters were really, really good. So also Elijah Wood was in this movie, excuse me, and he did a great job with his role. And last was Michael Caine, all right? And so this was a great, great movie. I really enjoyed this movie. I was 100% thumbs up on this film. I would say 4 or 5 stars. Maybe 4.5 stars. So this movie was really awesome from a lot of perspective. If you're a Dungeons and Dragons player, this movie was really good. It was really fantastic from a Dungeons and Dragons perspective. So one of the reasons why is you can just see the classes. Like there's fighter, rogue, wizard, and cleric. They're all in here, right? And so there were so many good things about this film. It was really a fantastic film. One of the things I really loved was just the different jumping back and forth in time. So the Last Witchhunter himself is he's 800 years old, and so he is 800 years old, and so you get to see him in like the 12th century, and then you get to see him in the 20th century, and there's multiple scenes where they jump back and forth between these two time sets, and it's really quite amazing. I just really, really enjoyed it. And then also I love their take on witches, right? So Rose Leslie plays a young, witch in this, and she has like a witch bar that Vin Diesel's character, the Last Witchhunter, ends up destroying when he's trying to find a bad witch. So there's like a few good witches in here, but generally they're saying witches are crazy evil, and so I like that take on sorcery. That sorcery's pretty straightforward. They tried to do the traditional thing. Nowadays, most movies, they don't really like to say anything's villainous or anything's, bad. And so, and you see a little bit of that in this, but generally they're like, if they're a witch, they're super evil. And Vin Diesel's like, I'm going to kill him. And so, it was kind of really interesting from that perspective. One of the things that was great about this film was just a different generation. So, Rose Leslie is, she's almost like a millennial. And then Vin Diesel, of course, he's older. One of the things I loved about this film is Vin Diesel, he's got to be coming up near 50 years old now, right? It's kind of a hard sell as an action hero. It gets harder for him to sell himself as an action hero in each movie. So one of the things that was great in this movie was you have, maybe there's 25, maybe, I think she's 25 years old. Maybe a little older than that. But Vin Diesel's easily 10, 15, 20 years older than her. And so there was no romantic involvement between the two, which I thought was great. It was really kind of refreshing that they're like, these two people are partners. They're working toward the same goal. They become partners because they are working toward the same goal. And there was no romantic involvement there. So it was just kind of refreshing to have that off the table and not have to worry about that through the film. Because a lot of times I think, Hollywood films kind of shoehorn that in with these, generational, especially in these movies where you have an older action hero. And so this was really kind of refreshing to see that kind of taken off the table. So Elijah Wood, he did a great job. One thing that was really interesting was there was really a lot of twists. This was a complicated plot. I really liked how complicated this plot was, and how involved it was, and how the movie was not apologetic about that, to say, hey, this is going to be a complicated plot, and we're gonna tell a complicated story. And so I thought that was great. I really enjoyed that aspect of the film. There was the action itself was excellent. There was lots of there was literally sword and sorcery in this film, which was in a 20th century setting, right? And so you had guns and swords and sorcery spells, and the special effects were excellent. I thought they were really excellent. The politics of the witches council. And actually, that had this whole really intricate backstory about the Last Witchhunter himself, which was really fantastic. This is a great, great film. Now, since it was a great film, and since it was a complicated plot, There's no way in heck this is going to get a sequel. None. Zero. I'm calling it before the weekend's out, right? Not a chance, right? Just like Mad Max. Mad Max was a brilliant film with that was extremely well acted. And now, if you really have a brilliant property, it's going to have a hard time getting sold in Hollywood, because Hollywood likes to keep it simple. I think, overall, Hollywood really has a very poor opinion of Americans. They think that Americans are not smart and that they just want the most basic fare. And I don't think it's true. I think Americans are brilliant and they can handle a complicated film. But I don't think there's any chance in heck this is going to get a sequel, which is really disappointing, because I really liked it and I thought it was very worthy of a sequel. So this is a great movie. If you get a chance, go out and see The Last Witchhunter. If you like action films, and also if you like fantasy films, or if you're a D&D, a Dungeons and Dragons player, definitely go see this. If you're a Dresden's File fan, there's a lot of fare here that's really fantastic. If you're a Vin Diesel fan, I think you'll really enjoy it. I really feel Vin Diesel is becoming an incredibly skilled actor in his old age, and you can see a lot of range here. He's always had a lot of range, and I think he exhibits quite a bit of range, in this film. Really, really good film. Just a really unique take. That's the other great thing about this movie, is there's not a lot of movies like this movie. Really, really unique. So go check it out. Take care.